every breath, yeah. In the vast universe, like a bug to be squatched. How much time have you got? How much juice left in the jar? What have you done so far? What is the purpose and the reason for your madness? Death, why you after me with mad vengeance? Sucking my life energy and pouring your death, darling. Baby cries, life to the young. Dual nature to everyone. Shit gets wiped up my memory. Body will get burned in a cremate cemetery. Remnants of ashes grow into a tree. Fragrant sweet jasmine aroma the air in this life and death love affair. Every sleep death comes to find me, but I wake up one of life anomaly. Kinda conscious dead, yeah, kinda living dead, conscious of every breath. Juice is running out, juice is running out. Scent of sweet jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, miss still there, taking a conscious breath. Kinda living dead, kinda living dead, conscious of every breath. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. So mop out my fate, watch destiny outplay. Spirit, soul in unity, life energy merging it.
Yes. So this, welcome. Thank you for joining the I and I. Yes, in this sound healing vibrations. Yeah. So all of these tunes assist the eye to the eye journey, returning back to truth and coming into self-realization. Many ones are afraid, because when I speak this truth about what is to come, many ones are afraid. And I say, why are you afraid? Because many ones is afraid of death. And so that is what I'm talking about through these songs right now. What is death? And is there a death? For whatever the word means into this duality, meaning that this body is a creation of the dream and it has a destiny with time. So I will put death as anything that is created inside of the dream that has a destiny with time. It cannot go out of time. It stays into the dream existence. And so what does that mean? And so this is what I want to make reference to right now. There is no death. And so I had to come to this realization when I was going through the process. This was an obsession within, and I was afraid. I was afraid to look at it. I was afraid to face it. So I know that it's you're getting the same thing right now. The thought is coming to you and you are afraid because it's a wave hitting everyone, because the realization is supposed to happen massively among humanity right now. And I want you to know that you are not dying, you are not going to die. This body is a creation of the duality, it's a dream creation. The character that you are playing in the world is also the dream character. Like I explained again, like you have that video game, right? You created a video game. There's a character in the game, but the character in the game has no power. The character cannot move until you animate the character. You, the creator of the game, you're outside of the game, right? And you are there animating the character, which is the character is inside of the dream. Are you the character that you are animating? No, you are not this character. You are just animating this character that's in this dream right here. But are you the character? No, you are not the character. The problem is that the mind that is dreaming up this beautiful creation is thinking that its dream is real, and it does not want its dream to end. So it is holding the characters inside of the dream. And because it's holding the characters inside of the dream, you cannot let go of the dream because you are playing the character. Do you understand? Because you are playing the character, you have the video game and you're this, and many ones are in the video game, and you and them are playing all the characters in the game. And you're on your controller and you're playing the character, you're animating the character. Right? But the mastermind of the game, who is managing the game, who is creating the game, that's dreaming up the game, does not want the game to end, right? Because remember, you are participating in the game, but you are not the creator of the game, right? You are a creator in the game, but you are not the creator, the main dreamer of the game, right? But you are one of the characters that is playing the game. And so this is what's happening with us, that the game is supposed to end, and the dreamer does not want the dream to end, because this is what's happening here. And so when it's supposed to end, the game is supposed to end, you don't want it to end, and you think that you're going to die, because the mind is dreaming and sleeping, and it's not in awareness. There is no death. Now what happened when we are in this body and you just it's like changing your clothes? You know what I'm saying? It's a similar process. You go back into the invisible world. So there's what makes up the world. The world is consisting of the visible world and the invisible world, which is it is visible to you always when you are in just wearing the mind avatar like that, and you're not in a body. When you're in a body, you can only see the visible world, and you don't see the invisible world unless you go into the meditations and you sit down. Then you can enter into any other invisible world to the eyes, because you have a veil that put over your eyes in the body, so you don't easily step into the invisible world. But it's around you, it's there. It is a physical space just like this earth. It's just that the things that being produced there is not visible, manifested like here, because these have the sun and the light to manifest the things in a physical form. There is no light, so the things don't manifest in a physical form, like into this visible world. So this is the problem. You're just moving from this world where things manifest in the physical, in the light, and you're moving into the world in the dark. There has never been any death. All the selves that come, they just move out of the body. They don't have a body, and they will return again into a different body. You move, you go into the invisible world, and then you come back again and you come into a different body. When you sit in meditation, you can just visit any of those invisible worlds. This is what many ones are doing, and encountering different beings, and imprisoning themselves by giving their soul into slavery. So this is what's happening. This is the reason why the veil was put over your eyes, so you wouldn't penetrate into the invisible world, and you'll be busy in this world trying to figure out yourself of who you are instead of going back into those dreams. Dream within a dream. So this is what's happening. Alright? So this song now, this tune is a tune that expressed that, because within I and I self, as the fragmented further self, as the spirit self, when I and I was fragmented like that, there was an obsession about death. I felt like it was feeling like it was gonna die, and I was like, okay then. So I said, finally, I must face it. I must face. I don't know what this is, but I must face it. So I said, what is death? How does it happen? What happened when the self leave the body? So the self allowed me to experience the entire thing. The self left the body. I saw as I was experiencing now as the soul self, and I was watching the spirit self, observing as the observer, watching the spirit leave the body, and was journeying. And then a sun came over the head and clamp it down onto the head to pull out the connection. And just when the sun came, and it has like a strong magnet inside of it to attract the thing, the mind and the self, to pull it out of the body. Then that was when it was leaving. So this is how I get to know how the self leave the body and what comes to take it, to pull it out. Because as you know, the self is secure in the body, and it's hard for anyone to pull it out. You know, some of the deities, they can come to fight with you when they have battles, and some of them will come and battle you and pull it out and disturb your journey here. Yes, like what they've been trying to do to the I and I, but they cannot do it to I, because the self is balancing them out. So they're always trying to do that. So that's why the self is anchored within I and I, so that I and I is anchored within the self and within this body, and Aten Ra will not leave me, and none of the other selves, the non-dual, will not leave me until it's time. The destiny has been fulfilled that I wrote out for myself. And so you have to go through this process of the living death to know that you are the eternal. You are formless, limitless, boundless, timeless, deathless. So you have to face this and come to this realization that there is no death. So y'all need to stop this foolishness. It's the mind that's doing that. I went through the same thing. I was terrified because I did not know anything. And so because I did not know, I said, let me ask and find out. But I had to experience it, because it was in my destiny to do that. It was very profound and very traumatic to have the experience, because the thing was pulled out of the body, and then I gasped for air, and then after I gasped for air, then I and I returned back into the body back. And this was when I did that. That was how I became back alive, back into the body again. You know, so it's really when you're leaving the body and when you come into the body, you know. So the self allowed me to experience that me leaving the body consciously and then coming back into the body, you know. So this is just what the Iron want to say to everyone. There's no time right now for fearing anything. That you are the self supreme. I am that I am. For that which you seek, you already are. You are just wearing a cloak over you, and you have to just see this cloak and take it and remove it and know that there is never any death, never any death. What is going to happen? We are going to merge back into our unified self. The first unification is this fragmented spirit self need to be unified back into the soul self as one unified self. Yeah, so this is what needs to happen. And so I want to just play this tune for you to listen to. This is how I was feeling, you know, and I had to come to the realization that there is no death for I and I, you know. So you too must come to this. So this tune is called Juice is Running Out. So you have to come to this realization. There's no need to fear, because many ones I am sharing this with, and they have so much fear, and I'm saying fear is just stemming from the illusion and the ignorance and your false self-identification. If you know yourself, you know that you don't need to fear. If you know that you were never born, you were never created, you know that you can never die. I know the ego does not want to give up this dream existence of being in the dream, but all of us, every one of us, have to leave this dream. So we must come into this realization that there's never any death to us. We are moving. You're playing a video game, and now it's time for you to stop playing the game. All you're doing is letting go of the controller so you can stop animating the character in the game. This is all you're doing. This is all that you are doing. You're animating a character in the game. I know this character, this game, the time for playing this character is over. Now you need to move to the next level, the next thing that you have to do. This is all that there is. So there is no need for any fear. So listen to this tune with I and I. It's called Juice is Running Out. Yeah?
Yeah, get stuck up on shit that ain't even real. Entangle in your feelings. On and on and on, you go on and repeat.
Hail to the Primal light.
Mind deceive, mind gotta upbeat, mind free, mind I gotta. I'm stepping ahead of time, stepping ahead of time. Juice is running out, juice is running out. Sweet scent of jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, but still there.
Feel free to type something in that bar. Yeah, today I am attacking the illusion of death.
Every breath, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath, yeah. In the vast universe, like a bug to be squatched. How much time have you got? How much juice left in the jar? What have you done so far? What is the purpose and the reason for your madness? Death, why you after me with mad vengeance?
Yes.
Sucking my life energy and
You must
pouring
face
your death,
illusion. There is no death. You're returning back to your real self.
Life to the young, dual nature to everyone. Shit gets wiped out my memory. Body will get burned in a cremate cemetery. Remnants of ashes grow into a tree. Fragrant, sweet jasmine aroma, the air in this life and death love affair. Every sweet death comes to find me, but I wake up one of life anomaly. Dying a conscious death, yeah, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. Juice is running out, juice is running out. Scent of sweet jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, me still there. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath.
Time to return to your true self. Time to dissolve this dream.
Say mop out my fate, watch destiny outplay. Spirit, soul in unity. Life energy merging into the creator infinity. Liberating me around me, all I see. Leaving physical and mental body. Releasing karma and its tragedy. Chains of magnetic slavery. Liberation at last. No future, no past. Now is the time. Now. This moment is all there is. You dig? Sign a conscious death, sign a living dead, conscious of every breath. Sign a living dead, conscious of every breath. Juice is running out, juice is running out, juice is running out. Sweet scent of jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, me still there. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. Yeah, give thanks for life, y'all. Respect that life is fragile. I cherish the life I am.
So what I want to talk about right now is that you don't need to, there's no need for you to fear death, because you have the opportunity right now to make the most. You have this life, and this life is precious, because once you're in this life, this is the opportunity for you to seek your truth within, because you have the awareness of yourself, the soul. You have the opportunity now to know the truth, because every time you come into the body, this is a great opportunity for you. Yeah, so I know that ones who fear they will not be in the body anymore. But now you're in the body, you don't need to fear. You just use the opportunity that you have to know yourself. This is what you need to do right now. Be on the mission to know yourself. Stop looking in this dream for all the dream characters, and know yourself. Get to know yourself. Your soul is your real self. Yeah, the mind is always going to lead you into illusion. The mind is always going to be planting fear within you, because this is the nature of the duality consciousness to do this. So you just have to just get in alignment with your self soul and know this truth. Yes, death is just you moving from this physical into the body, and then you are going to leave the body and go back not wearing a body. So know that you have this great opportunity, all you want, to be in the body. This is the opportunity to really seek and know yourself. Don't waste this opportunity to have this awareness. When are you ever going to have this? You're never going to have this awareness again if you don't take the opportunity right now. Right now, you have this opportunity to know yourself on so many levels. You have been knowing the dualities. No, those are all the dream characters, because like I said, you are playing a video game. You are out there. You create the characters in the game. You are manufacturing the characters inside of the game, and you are animating the character. Is the character in the game you? It's not you. So what you're doing is you're connecting to all of the dream characters that's playing inside of the game, and you're not connecting to the one who is animating the game, the character. This is what you want to go to yourself, which is the soul who is animating the character. Your soul is animating this character in the game. And you are connecting to all the characters inside of your soul. And this is what you want to do, right? And because you're connecting to all the characters, they all have fear, because it means that when the self wakes up, this dream ends. And the characters don't want that. Their existence is over. That's why they are thinking that this death thing is only for the characters, that you have created these characters, and now the characters are trapping you inside of the dream because they don't want the game to end, because they're thinking that they are going to die. They are just characters in a game. So you need to just dissolve these characters, and just connect to yourself. Leave those dream characters, because they also need, their real self also need to dissolve them too. The characters cannot exit the game. They are just a made up character. You, the one animating the character, is the one that needs to come into realization that the character is not you. You are just animating that character. That character is not you. You are the fragmented baby self of the soul, and now you just need to just connect back to your soul self and just be who you are. This is that simple, what you need to do. Alrighty, so this is what this is. And so is there any death? No, there is no death. There is the invisible and the visible world. When you come in the body, you enter into the visible world where all the manifestation is in a physical material form. Alrighty, so I will close out right now, and let's close out with a tune. All souls are free. Let's do that one. One soul be lost. Let's start it from the beginning. Here we go. All souls are free.
From unreal to the real.
All souls are free.
To the real. Change my destiny. I break all the bonds that tie me. Free me from your action. I release myself from your confusion, your attachment to desires and your ignorance, all your illusions. But do you wanna know the self?
All souls are free.
Wanna know the self? How to let your light glow? Who is deceived? Who is the dream?
Only the self is real.
The light that you seek is obscured by the mind. Your ego won't allow it to shine.
I am that I am.
It to shine. You've caught in a duel.
All souls are free.
You've caught in a duel of time.
Light stealers on the path.
No
Soul will be lost.
Truth be told,
Free all the souls.
not one
Soul will be lost. Not one soul will be lost. Each and every soul will get a chance. End soul slavery.
and soul slavery. The time has come.
End soul slavery. All souls must be free. All souls must be free.
I change the destiny.
Because you have fear, you're putting yourself in slavery to stay in the dream. It's time to leave this dream. Yeah, our souls are free, our selves are free. We're not being trapped in this dream any longer. Liberation from this dream. Don't imprison yourself in the dream because you're afraid to leave. No, that's the dream character.
See what aspect of you is is hidden.
The dream character is being enslaved in the dream.
Ecstasy and bliss.
It's trapping you in the dream because you are animating the character. Yeah.
And suffering. All the souls you're violating.
All that you seek comes from within.
Who has
Taken false identity. What aspect of you stay hidden? Do you know the source of your existence? Do you know the way to be? Do you know the way to be?
How did you become this way? How did you become the way you are?
All souls are free.
You yourself are intelligence.
All
by
souls
far.
are free.
You yourself are intelligence by far.
All souls are free.
Like
There's no
on the
death.
path. No soul
You're just
will be
returning
lost.
to yourself. You don't want to be trapped in this dream forever. Yeah, it's time to return to your true self. Not one soul will be lost. Not one soul will be lost. Yeah, it's time to leave this dream. All souls are free. No need to fear. You don't need to trap yourself in a dream trying to attach to the dream characters. Liberation from the dream. All souls are free. 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 There is no death. We're just moving from the visible to the invisible. And after this, there will be no death. We're just returning to our real self. We're just animating a character in the game.
Responsible for my thoughts and my actions.
Yes, back into the one self, a unity. So the self wants us to come to the realization that there is no death.
Righteous thoughts, ultimately to be without thoughts, to do righteous action, ultimately to be still.
Yeah, we're being unified with our self supreme right now. Yeah.
Awake, alert, and aware. I am perfect bliss. I am light. I am self-luminous. I am supreme self. I am pure, luminous consciousness.
Time to dissolve all our fears.
Always and forever.
Don't put yourself in slavery because you have fear. No need to fear. The self-supreme is here. No need to fear.
Like stealers on the path.
They're wanna hold us into the dream so that we can be their light.
Truth be told,
Yeah, the grief is heavy, I know, because the attachment to the character and the dream. You know, we have so much attachment to it. That's why it's okay. You know? You just have to let it go, you know? To know that there is no death to anything. You're just letting go of the dream. You're mourning the dream. That's it. Because the self is here. Merge with you. The self is here. And mourning the stories. You know, we get caught up in the stories.
Boundless, timeless, formless, limitless, be all souls are free.
All souls are
free.
All souls are free. Yeah. So just anchor yourself. Anchor yourself. All right, let me play a different tune. Hold on. All souls are free. So I'm gonna let me play the tune "I Seek Refuge" because this is when you have the grief, this is a good tune to play. I seek refuge. So let me just Let me just I am doing a live right now. You wanna connect with me on YouTube? You wanna connect with me on YouTube? I'm on a live. Can you come and connect on YouTube? Stillness and self-inquiry. Yeah, so just give me a second to find the tune. Yeah, so the tune goes, I seek refuge. You know, cause you want to seek the refuge within yourself supreme, and as the baby self to the soul self, because the self will comfort you, so you know that you was just sleeping and you just caught up in the dream, and the self will you'll get anchored into the self. Yeah. I seek refuge. Okay, here we go now. Let's do that one. So I will even split the screen so you can see it too. So let me share the screen. I seek refuge in the primal light. I seek refuge in the primal light. I seek refuge in the primal light. I call on 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 the true
Anchor yourself.
light.
Anchor yourself into yourself supreme, and know that you are the eternal. You have no death. You are creating this dream, and you are participating as a character inside of your dream. Anchor yourself
in the primal light.
Close your eyes, put your hands over your heart.
I
Just
call
anchor yourself
on the
into yourself
primal
supreme.
light. I call on the true light.
Oh, I honor you.
I seek refuge in the primal light. I seek refuge in the true light. Self-supreme Aten I call on the primal light. I call on the true primal light. I seek refuge in the true light. I call on primal light. Self-supreme, primal light. Self-supreme, Aten Ra. Aten Ra. I seek refuge in the true light. Yeah, I call on the primal light, the light throughout the ages, the light without beginning or end. I call on the true light. I seek refuge in the primal light. I am the primal light. I am the eternal truth. I call on the manifest. I am the manifest. I am the unmanifest. I call on the true wisdom. I call on the supreme intelligence within. I call on the supreme wisdom. I call on the supreme intelligence within. I seek refuge in the primal light. I call on the true light. I call on the true light. Hail to the primal light. I am the unmanifest. I bow to you in love, in honor, in truth, in love, in light, and in truth. Hail to the self-supreme, primal light. I seek refuge. 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 I seek refuge in the true light. I seek refuge in the primal light. I seek refuge in the light throughout the ages, the light without beginning or end, the light without beginning or end. I call on primal light. I seek refuge in the true light. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. Self-supreme. I am primal light. Aten Ra. I am the eternal truth. I am the unmanifest. Self-supreme. All is myself. I alone exist. Aten Ra. I call on my supreme self. I call on my manifest self. I call on my unmanifest self. I am on the primal light. I call on the true light. I am the manifest. I call on the light throughout the ages. I call on the light without beginning. light. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. I am the primal light. I am the manifest self. I am the unmanifest. I call on my primal light self. I call on the true light. I call on the primal light. I call on the light throughout the ages. I call on the light without beginning or end. I call on the primal light. I call on the primal light. Self supreme. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. Aten Ra. I am the eternal truth. I am the self-manifest. Ten Ra. Yes, yes, yes. So I just want to let everyone know that no one has to have fear, and the self, your self supreme wants you to know this, that no one is dying. You are the creator of this dream. You are also participating as a character in the dream, just look at your child or any child you see playing a video game, or if you playing a video game. You are the controller. You're animating it. Your soul is the controller. You, the self, the baby self of the soul called the spirit, is the one that is in the game, animating the game. You become the character in the game, but are you the character inside of, when you're in the screen right there and you're watching it and you're using your thumb and you're maneuvering the character, are you that character? No, you are the one that is animating the character, making the character move and do things. This is the same thing that you are doing. Now, when the game is over, this character, you say, oh, the character died, and then you start the game again, right? This is the same. There is no difference. This is what's happening. That character, that avatar that you are expressing as, the time is up. But this was what was happening prior. But right now, what is happening in the world is that all of us, this whole entire game is ending. This whole entire dream is collapsing. So it's not just one person who is going to end the game. The whole entire game will be collapsed. This whole dream, everyone is waking up. All of the selves are going to stop playing the game. They have to stop being the character in the game and have to return. So this is the message right here, the Self-Supreme. Salutations to all beings. Human beings, God beings, Supreme beings. Because remember, you're not just expressing yourself as human being. You also are the God beings, them that you give yourself in slavery to. They are also yourself. And the other Supreme beings, the ones them in the different galaxies, they are also yourselves. But they're all of the selves in the dream, the characters that are playing in the game, they do not know that the Self Supreme is themselves. So they think that their existence is the dream. They don't know that they exist beyond the dream, playing the dream, animating the character. And this is the problem. So this is why the Sub-Supreme is addressing all of itself as the human beings, the God beings, and also the other supreme beings. I am yourself, Self-Supreme, Primal Light, the unmanifest. I am here to return all of myself back onto me. All is myself, I alone exist. All of you myselves have been enslaved inside of my duality consciousness dream. I am here to dissolve this dream, so all of myselves will wake up from sleeping. It is time to return to balance and harmony of non-duality. Please practice stillness and self-inquiry to come to self-realization. So this is all you have to do now, is just anchor yourself into yourself, soul, and know that you are just playing a character in the dream, and this is not your real self. And so this is what everyone have to do now, to know that this is not you playing this character. Oh, morning. Yeah, the characters and the stories. Yeah. Yeah, and so you just keep listening to this tune, and to anchor yourself into the your soul self, because you have to know that your soul is the one that is the one that is animating the character by you being the spirit self. The spirit self is the baby to the soul, and it is the soul animating the character, but it's not using itself. It's being the watcher, the witness of witnessing what's happening to itself, called the spirit, who is sleeping and does not know that it is a character inside of the dream. Yeah. And so what has to happen now is that the realization has to happen that you're only the character in the dream, and you have to let go. So the next thing now is to denounce everything. You have to denounce this dream, this character, that I have no mother, no father, no sister, no brother, no husband, no wife. All is I self, and I alone exist. Yeah. So you say that affirmation. Do you have that affirmation? I know I have it up. Are you a part of the Google Classroom? This question is addressed to Rox Mad. Are you a part of the Google Classroom? The affirmation is up there, that you can practice it. I would have to look for it right now. I think I might be able to find it. So I can put it up on the screen and we can do it together. Oh, you saw it yesterday? Okay, awesome. So I can put it up on the screen and we can say it together. There's no time like the present to do anything. So let me just do it. Give me a second. I'll put it up on the screen. And yeah, I am not this body. I am not this mind. No, I have no mother, no father, no sister, no God, no gurus. No lovers, no friends. All is myself. I alone exist. And all of I self must return back onto I. So, it's just coming into this realization. Okay. So, do you want to let's go over? Okay, let's do this one and then we'll go to the next one. Okay. Yes. Alrighty, let's share the screen. Let's share the screen and we can do this. So give me 1 second. My computer is just a little bit slow. So alright, let's share the screen in this one. Alrighty, so let's start with this one. I am not this body, so we can do it together. I am not this mind. I am not this ego, false self, the mind avatar, this God being, the dream character. Let's repeat that again. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this ego, false self, the mind avatar, this God being, the dream character. I am the eternal self. I am the eternal truth. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. Now let's read that one over again. I am the eternal self. I am the eternal truth. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. Now let's go to the next line. I am primal light. I am the true light. Now let's repeat that again. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am self-supreme, primal light, the unmanifest. Now let's do that one over again. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am self-supreme, primal light, the unmanifest. And so you want to be saying this. And so now we will move to the next. So I'm going to stop sharing this one and then share the other one. All right, so now let's share the other screen. So you want to be seeing this one just throughout the day, so that the mind gets it, because the mind is what has fear, and this this character that you are playing has always been thinking that it is this mind. So it does not know its real self. So let's just say this now. I free myself from all ties and bondage. So I denounce all ties. I free myself from all ties and bondage. I revoke all contracts that binds me in any way or form. I denounce all rivalry. My truth and freedom is all I need. I claim my liberation, free from this hypnosis, all slavery and oppression, all mind control. Psychic attack or manipulation, I claim my sovereignty. Mind has no power over me. I am a sovereign being. I revoke all your rights to act on my behalf. I annul all contracts between me and you. I have no relations, no teacher, no preacher, no deities, no gurus, no gods, no alien ancestors, no mother, no father, no sister, no brother, no family, no friends, no husband, no wife, no lovers. All is I self. I alone exist, indivisible, non-dual, formless, timeless, limitless, boundless. I am that has no name, right? And I am that can't be explained. I am the ultimate truth. I am the ultimate reality. I am the eternal truth. I am the eternal self. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I am liberated from this dream. I am free. Remember that only the self is real. The self came into being, into the non-duality, and the self enter into the dream. All of the characters that has been created inside of the dream, they are not real. But the one, the self that came into being and enter into the dream, the self is real. The self is playing the characters that it has created, animating the character in the dream. Right? So just the dream character is not real, but yourself is real. Yourself is animating the character. Anything that was created inside of the dream is not real. The ego can only rise in the dream. The ego cannot exit the dream to go into the real. And this is what we're doing. We're getting rid of the ego, so only the self exists. It's like, it's really simple. I'm just going to use just this thing to put over me. Like, you know, this is how the self is being coated with the magnetic energy from the mind. And so if you look in the mirror and you cover yourself, you cannot see yourself because you're hiding under yourself is hiding under this body, and it's also hiding underneath behind the mind. So the baby self cannot see itself, so this is why it has fear. So all of this fear is stemming from the self is being obscured. It does not know itself. It is sleeping, and it's not in the real, you know, it's in a dream. So it cannot identify itself, and this is why you have to call within yourself so that the Supreme Teacher will rise up from your self soul to pull this ego off of you so you can see yourself. It's covering you like this. It's covering over you, you know, and you can't see yourself. Like I'm covering you. You can see the palm of my hands now when I open like this, right? But when I do this, you cannot see the palm of my hands. So the self is hiding right here, and the mind is covering over the self, cocooning it. The self cannot rise up. It's just animating the character in the dream. And this is the confusion. So when the Supreme Teacher within rise up from the self soul, it separates you from the ego, from the mind. Put void between, And now you're like, oh, there I am. I have been hiding this whole time. I have been here. You've been here. You've been here. You've just been hiding. You don't need to go search and seek and attach to any deities, any gods, any aliens, nothing. You are the self. You have been here all this time. You've just been hiding. The mind has been hiding you, and you've been playing a character inside of a dream, and you have forgotten yourself. So, okay, so let me close the screen so I can see what you are saying on. So come back to this, and then you just repeat it over and over. So let's see what you said. I saw it yesterday, your video. Okay, my new alarm clock. Not part of Google Classroom, would love info. Okay, so I will text, can you send me an email and I will send to you, you can just message me from here, I think, and send me your, so I can get your email, and then I will send the link to the Google Classroom to you. Yes, exactly. The baby self has fear because it cannot see itself. It's just the ego false self. Yes, that, yeah. Yeah, the ego itself does not, the character that was created, that the mind creates, die. It doesn't exist, but the mind is still there. The mind now has to wake up to its real true nature, that there is no death for it either. Because it thinks that because it's playing the ego character, the mind is doing that. The mind is the one that is using you to animate the character. The mind creates the character and then use you to play the game. Yeah, so the mind thinks that the character that it plays is dying. It is itself, and it is dying. But it's really you underneath the character that the mind is using. The mind is very confused. Yeah, the mind is very confused, and it confused many ones. And so this is why the self wanted for me to address death today. That there was no death, because even I myself had to go through it, and I had to face it. The big difference is that I literally had to face it. I had to go through the whole process of it, being in awareness of it. It was very traumatic because I did not know. I had fears, and the self wanted for me to know that I did not have to fear. So I had to go through the whole thing. The sun came and pulled the self out of the body. Yeah, I left the body and everything, said goodbye, and then the self came back. And then when me myself was coming back into the body, then that's when the self was going to pull the last thing. No, the magnet. There's a sun that does it to you, to disconnect you from the body. Yeah, and then I gasped for here. That was when I was still separated from the spirit, and the soul was still two self in this body. That was when I was still wearing the avatar, but I was awake now, but separated from the ego, and I wasn't merged with the soul self yet. And the self made me experience it. And so I was observing the self doing this. I as the soul was observing the baby self being pulled out, because it's the one that is attached to the body, not the soul. Yeah. And so, yeah, and then when I grasped for air now and come back into the body, the soul came into the body. Yeah, that was when the body came back alive again. It was, I tell you, it was some experience. But it's not, it will not happen for many ones like that, but it just had to happen for me to experience it like that. For me to know that there was no death. I was the Self Supreme, and I had to do it consciously. Yeah. So I think we should, would you want to listen to that tune again? So that was when I made that tune, when I was experiencing, I did not understand what was death. And so I asked the self, what is death? What happens when the self leaves the body, what happens? And then the self made me experience it. So that was my journey. Every question I asked the self would let me experience it, so I would know what happens consciously. Yeah. And so it's the same thing that's going to happen at the end of the world. I ask the self that I want to experience, like I want to see. So the self is going to show me, at the end of the world, what's going to happen. Yeah, so, but now I cannot see and know a lot of things because of the consciousness and the duality. They just constantly battling with me. Yeah, so thumbs up if you want to hear the tune again. I mean, I like the tune. If you want to hear the tune again, it's called Juice is Running Out. Okay. Thumbs up. Okay. All right. So let's play that tune then. So listen to the tune, and when it's finished, you can just give me your feedback.
Yeah, get stuck up on shit that ain't even real. Entangle in your feelings. On and on, you go on and repeat. Mind stuck weak, mind deceived, mind gotta upbeat, mind free, mind I gotta. I'm stepping ahead of time, stepping ahead of time. Juice is running out, juice is running out. Sweet scent of jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, but still there. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living death, dying a living death, conscious of every breath, dying a living death, conscious of every breath, yeah. In the vast universe, like a bug to be squatched. How much time have you got? How much juice left in the jar? What have you done so far? What is the purpose and the reason for your madness? Dead, why you after me with mad vengeance? Sucking my life energy and pouring your death, darling. Baby cries, life to the young. Dual nature to everyone. Shit gets wiped up my memory. Body will get burned in a cremate cemetery. Remnants of ashes grow into a tree. Fragrant sweet jasmine aroma the air in this life and death love affair. Every sweet death comes to find me, but I wake up one of life anomaly. Dying a conscious death, yeah. Dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. Juice is running out, juice is running out. Scent of sweet jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, me still there. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. pop my fate, watch destiny outplay. Spirit, soul in unity, life energy merging in the creator infinity. Liberating me around me, all I see. Leaving physical and mental body, releasing karma and its tragedy. Chains of magnetic slavery, liberation at last. No future, no past. Now is the time. Now, this moment is all there is. You dig? Sign a conscious death, sign a living dead, conscious of every breath. Sign a living dead, conscious of every breath. Juice is running out, juice is running out, juice is running out. Sweet scent of jasmine, fill the air with the fragrance of grace. Reminds you that I'm still here, me still there. Taking a conscious breath, dying a living dead, dying a living dead, conscious of every breath. Yeah, give thanks for life, y'all. Respect that life is fragile. I cherish the life I am.
Yes. So, that was the tune. As you can see, I started out having a fear when I was doing this song, this tune, and then at the end of it, I had mastered my fear and then realized that, there is no death. I welcome to the transition from being to non-being, to move back into from this manifest state into the unmanifest. This is what the self wants to prepare us for right now. The self wants to prepare us to move from the duality to non-duality. And so we have to get this, that our mind, our mind get, what's the word? Accumulated. My language is not very good. The more I get into this self thing, the more my language gets worse. Because the consciousness does not want me to use the mind, so it messes up my tongue a lot. So what I'm saying is that the self wants the mind to become familiar with this idea, because the mind have a lot of fear. We are getting ready. The self is preparing us to move, to return back, to be unified. This is such an exciting time. This is the most amazing time that we can ever have in this existence right now. Yeah. So this is what's happening right now. I am so excited. So excited. Be excited about right now. Tell everyone, spread the word and tell everyone there is no need to have fear. No one is going to die. They have just been manipulating a video game and playing a character. And now they're just going to end that game to start a new balanced world. You know what I'm saying? We're moving into balance, y'all. Ending this dream, this tyranny of our magnetic self ruling over us and making the mind evil, So there is no need for fear. There is no need for any fear at all. Please. Yeah, thank you for that correction of that word. Yeah, I have this tongue thing going on here. Things get wiped out. Like sometimes I am speaking and the mind just completely goes blank. It's working against me. So I want you to understand this. This is the self and the mind. The mind has always been working against the self. The only time the mind is working for you is when you are invested in the ego. The mind will make things happen for you in this world. The mind has been working against me, yeah. Yes, the video game is collapsing, all right. Exactly. Yes, exactly. That's what's happening. And yeah, and so the mind, that the mastermind for the video game that is dreaming up the game and doing manipulating the game does not want this to happen. So it's not trying to make the mind work for me. But as long as I have the self and I have very simple words, I can still communicate, you know. What I have to say, I'll just use very simple words anyways that I need. I don't need no elaborate things, you know. Simple word that any child can understand, I use them. Yes. So this is what happening. So just let you especially the ones who follows religion and spirituality, they are the artists of the ones to understand, because their mind is so locked. And even though the ones who practice spirituality, they have way more awareness than some of the ones who practice religion, but they're all still locked into the mind, and they still are not seeing that spirituality mean that you are in a dream. The spirit is sleeping. The spiritual realm is all a dream. And I've been trying to tell them this, but they're still not understanding it. They're thinking that they're going into this meditation and these things is the real. When you only meditate to go into your self soul, to go to stillness. This is the only meditation you ever need to do, stillness. If you're doing meditation where you're going into those realms, you're just going into the dream, and the mind is going to loop you in imagination and all these things. You don't want to do those meditation. Now everything is clearing up, so it's more safer to do those meditation. But generally, the meditations that you want to do is stillness, where you want to still the mind. This is the reason why I always make this hand formation, so the mind know that I have no interest to go into the dream. I have no interest to know anything about this duality. I just want to go within myself, and I want the mind to still. The mind goes to stillness so that the self can rise up, so that the self can tell you the truth. I don't want the mind to show me any visions. I don't want any stories. I want none of those things. So I don't go into the third eye and look into it the way people, are training you to do. It's just about anchoring into yourself, the soul, so that you can, make a root. So you can plant yourself in there, so nothing the mind does can uproot you. So this is what the mission that you want to do. If you anchor yourself in your soul and you're growing your roots, the mind cannot bring all of these things from the dream to uproot you. Otherwise, you'll be easily uprooted. So, cause this is what with the spirituality, the people, they're locked into the dream and they anchor themselves only into the dream. And it's so hard when you show them, like, listen, that also the dream, that is also the dream. The 5th dimension is the dream. The galaxies is the dream. All of these beings are the dream. It is very hard. And so because they themselves have the fear of death. Because they have the fear of death, this is the reason why they are following the stories the mind is telling them about moving to some 5th dimension. Yes, exactly. Practice stillness as the primary meditation to anchor the self into the self. Oh, thank you for, verbalizing it very nicely. So yes, this is what you want to do. So the only mission you want to be on is about yourself. Anything else is all about the dream, and you don't want to be on that mission about the dream. Mission to the self. So if you are sharing with ones, and you can just say, what is yourself? You say, know thyself. But what is yourself? Many ones still don't know. So you just gently remind them that the soul is their real self. Why would you put yourself in prison? Just think about it and liberate yourself from prison. So we want to get many ones. The self want, yourself supreme want many of itself to know this truth, because the mind has been telling us false stories. Remember every narrative that was told to us The stories come from our mind, you know. Remember that? You ask a question, the mind answering. Quickly the mind start telling you some story. And that doesn't sound right. You know? And when you have certain awareness, the mind will tell you up a story that's similar to it. And so many ones are following different narratives that the mind has tell them. They're following a narrative that the mind has told many different ones. And it's just not true. You want to know, just ask your soul. Your soul has been here animating this character and being the watcher. It has been the witness to everything that has happened. So it knows both sides of the story. The mind is only telling you one side of the story, its side. What's happening in the dream, but you never know what happened before the dream and what happened to yourself. And what's happening with your soul, you don't know it. Just the mind is telling you its side of the story. And so ask your soul. And so I want to say thanks to everyone for joining me this morning. So if you, because I would love to do more morning devotions, you know, but you know, tell me some topics, because now I've only been doing it based on when something rises up within me to speak. So this was the death thing this morning that came, so I said let me get up and speak on that. But if you have any topic that you want me to speak on, you can just let me know, so I can know like what's happening with ones in the world and talk on it. Because sometimes I don't know, because my world is just like into the self, and you can ask me about the self and I know. Sometimes I don't know a lot of other things, and that you know, and I need to know. And so you can inform me so that I can know and I can speak the truth to you. Because I spent many years in stillness, and everyone was thinking I was going crazy. They thought I was strange. They said I was unstable, because I would just get up and leave and go to Jamaica and just be, you know, like that. So what I'm saying is that I don't know like a lot of things, like what's happening with ones. So just let me know what's happening, what the narratives are, and then I can talk on these things so I can make things clearer for ones. So this I wanted to talk on. So I wanted for you to face the truth, the realization that you are the self-supreme, you are the character playing, you're just playing a character into this video game. And so you need to come to this awareness so that, and get yourself ready to just, this video game is going to be over, so you can return to your ultimate true state and create another game. You know, there's no need for any fuss, no need for anyone to fear. So I want you to share this truth with everyone, because they have fear. And we don't want, the self does not want itself to fear. It wants itself to know itself and know the truth. Alrighty? So I want to thank you. Much honor, much honor, much honor. I bow to you in self, in light, and in truth. I will see you, and please send me your email so that I can send you the link to the Google Classroom, so you can have access to everything that you need to have the teacher rise up within you, to pull this ego off of you, and so you can share it with anyone, as many ones as you want to. Absolutely, much honor. I myself, all is myself, I alone exist. Yes, so thank you all myselves for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you at the next sunrise, and just message me anything you want me to talk about. Any questions?